Good evening, everybody. We are so happy to see so many of you on this fourth workshop of the AI Foundations program. I know that many of you have waited for this for so long, and you have been asking questions from the first workshop about AI and data privacy and cybersecurity. And now we have Tomas Smalakys, who will answer all your questions. We don't have office hour for this session separately, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and Thomas will just a second, and Thomas will address them. So I will be also checking YouTube live stream chat. So don't worry if don't be afraid that your question will not be answered. So Thomas, you can start, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hi all. Good to see so many people. I have in parallel I have chat opened, and I'll try to multitask by presenting you what I have prepared today. And also I will try to keep my eye on the chat to answer any of your questions. So yeah, without further ado, let's try to make this as interactive session as possible. So yeah, so my name is Thomas. I'm a CTO at SME Bank. So currently I moved to the bank. I am very passionate about technology, about AI and cybersecurity. So I have several certifications on that. So one of them are coming from CompTIA. It's a very well-established organization who specializes in upskilling tech and not only tech professionals. So I have network security, pen test, so-called red hats. I have Security Plus certification from there. Also, I'm a 3 times certified from AWS, and now I'm holding security certifications from Google. So yeah, it's very fascinating topic for me, and I'm very honored Women Go Tech allowed me to join you guys and present. I will not try to go into much of the details. I'll try to keep the grip on top, so to say, to scratch the surface. But I'll try to keep this session interactive. So feel free to ask questions. I'll try to address them while we are going through. And I will also ask you to participate because I have prepared some questions for you. I have prepared some topics for you where I would need your attention, and you will be able to write in the chat the answers to the questions or any other questions. So just to kick off this meeting, I would like you all to read the question about the interest about AI and or cybersecurity or tech in general. So what interests you the most? So why have you joined this webinar, and what are you trying to achieve from here? Oh, nice. I see so many different answers. So both career opportunities and protecting personal organizational data, learning, understanding the ethical implications. So I'm very happy that we have so very mixed blend of all that. So without further ado, let's dive into today's agenda. So these are the topics I would like to speak today about. So the first of all, I will go what is AI and what is AI's role in general in our lives and also in cybersecurity. What are the challenges with data privacy in these fascinating times of age of AI? Then we will dive deeper into more of examples, and I have some live demos prepared for you on how we can use AI to to look into the traffic and to detect some of the anomalies. Also, at the end of the session, I will have some of the career pathways and opportunities, and what skill set, what exact skill set you need in order to get those. So yeah, let's jump into it. So what is AI's role in cybersecurity? So the question for you guys, for the audience, sorry for that. So what do you think? How cybersecurity professionals utilize AI to protect their information, their data, and their applications? Spam filters, alerts. Yes, that's great. So yes, both answers are very straight to the point. So there are threat detection and response tools. So what does those mean? So in general, just imagine that you live in a house and you have a fence around your house, right? And you have set special alerts when someone is trying to get over your fence and get into your territory. You get the alert, you get the alarms, and that's where this is happening. So AI helps to detect not only just the already happened actions, but AI is looking into the trends, and it's looking and it is able to access a lot of information and to process a lot of information. And that's where predictions are coming for analytics and potential attacks. And not only for the attacks, a lot of data analysis are being used for sales, for marketing purposes. And what AI is famous for, it can uh, look into a lot of data and give you the predictions on where should you spend your money or what should you do. Automation, as a lot of you mentioned, and yes, and of course, user behavior analytics. So with AI, we are able, as a professionals, not only cybersecurity, but also in tech and marketing and sales, and as Mari mentioned, KYC is and AML and all those secure zones. We are able to predict how our users or how the attackers are going to behave, and in the good cases, promote that behavior, or in the bad cases, if we're being attacked, to stop those behaviors before our data is being accessed or lost. So, and here we go with the benefits of AI in cybersecurity. So, on one part, we don't need that much of a workforce. So, we don't need people sitting around and looking into the specific dashboards on the network security, on threat detection, on basically we don't need monitoring and we don't need people just sitting around. We can use their brain to make a lot of solutions. And we empower AI to look into that detection. Once detected, of course, we do the response. And the response is not just firing up the alert, but we empower AI to make decisions. So if we see something is happening, if we see that attack is in progress, AI can make specific decisions, and it can make specific changes to the system to prevent the threat factors to spread across our system. So it can block the network, it can shut down the vulnerable machines, etc., etc. Then again, in a proactive part, that's just what I mentioned, and also we, with help of AI, can learn those going forward. We can learn those patterns, and we can scan our systems, and we can try to make this scenario again, and try to prevent that before it will be repeated. And of course, behavior analytics. So that's where we see how our attackers, how our vulnerabilities were used against us, and we can prevent that from happening in the future. So real world examples are as follows, as someone mentioned spam filters. So yes, AI models can classify and filter out spam emails, and we can do that on different systems, whether you're using Microsoft or you're using Google Stack. We can implement already native solutions into our spam filters, and it will block emails without even reaching our boxes. On the intrusion detection, so that means that generally speaking, our network. So for me as a IT professional, on a daily basis, I see some suspicious activity, some bots or web nets trying to access our network, unauthorized access network, and potentially cause some harm. So this helps us to monitor our perimeter and block that suspicious activity. So that's where we are also looking into the huge benefits on AI, because it analyzes the packets, and I will be able to demonstrate how we are scanning the network and how we can see and detect the patterns. And of course, endpoint security. So that endpoints meaning our devices. So if you're working, for example, as me in the bank, it is crucial to protect the endpoint devices such as PCs and mobile phones. We use that on a daily basis. We receive hundreds of emails, and some of those emails are called phishing emails, where bad actors are trying to lure you into clicking the link. I can give you one real world example which happened just recently. There is a web portal called Versložinas. It's Lithuanian one. So and the attack was so masterfully taken that I'm fascinated by that. Of course, it's a bad thing, but when you're looking into the how it was orchestrated, it's great, and the ways how bad actors or hackers are trying to access that, it's never ending. So what happened? Around 2 months ago or something like that, there was a conference hosted by Versložinas, and a lot of different companies were participating in that event. During that event, one particular person from Versložinas was a host, and she carried her own laptop into the event. So during the event, I don't know how, but her working laptop was infected with a malware. And since it's a kind of sleepy virus, it doesn't blur your screen or start doing some different commands. It's generally just sleeping until the hacker who infected your laptop will start performing some actions. So after the event, the email from that PC was sent to many of registered users. And the contents of that email were very greatly structured email with a Microsoft OneDrive, and it was embedded link with the words, "Hello, thank you for your participation in the event. Here are the slides from that presentation. Please click and get those slides." And the link was infected. So generally speaking, we saw one person who clicked. So what happened after you click on these kind of phishing emails? So you click, you get redirected again to not a real email, not the real OneDrive, and you get redirected to different website where you need to put your credentials, so your email and your password. The designs look exactly like Microsoft SharePoint or Microsoft OneDrive. The one difference is the URL. You should always check the URL. So URL was not Microsoft's URL, it was different URL, but it contained the malware. So the person entered her credentials, and that's it. Immediately after the credentials were entered, we saw the attack by trying to access that account. What was the good factor is that we have enforced and enabled multi-factor authentication. So that means that you need to have a secondary device like your mobile phone in order to approve your login. So once we saw the suspicious IP address from the outside trying to access that multiple times because multi-factor authentication was not entered, the AI, our intrusion or endpoint security and intrusion detection system just automatically blocked that IP address and reset the credentials. So that helped us to mitigate the issue, and no data was taken, and nothing was harmed. But with a single click, you can expose your infrastructure and open the doors to the threat actor. So what would happen if we haven't had multi-factor authentication? That would give access to generally our systems. And then there are different methodologies and methods how you can get into that. One of them is land and expand. So generally, you get into the system and you try to access different servers, different points, and you are collecting all the data. What is the main difference on a physical intrusion, like the burglar gets into your home and steals a painting, for example, right? And digital assets. So when you come home, you notice that your painting is not there. It's not hanging on the wall, right? But when your digital possessions are being stolen, they're just being copied. And you come into your SharePoint or folder, OneDrive or Dropbox or any others. And that's it. And I see a question from questions from it. How do I know if my PC is okay? That's a great question. So there are depending on the software you're using, whether it's Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, there are different applications which can protect your PC. Like antivirus, like a lot of different antiviruses. So, for example, with the Windows, if you're in a company or you're using your own laptop, use the encryption. It's Bitdefender. It's on Windows. It's called Bitdefender, which can encrypt your hard drive. So in case you will get infected, at least your information is safe because it's encrypted and backed up. So you can reset your laptop and you can get a backup from the encrypted drive. So even though it will be stolen, the bad actors or hackers will not be able to access any of the content because it's encrypted. And decryption is pretty much impossible with the current compute power. It will take thousands of years, depending on the algorithm. But Windows is using, or Mac is using the latest one. So of course, so just to prevent, don't click on suspicious links. 99% you do not have the grandfather or great grandfather from Nigeria who left you the $20 million. So maybe you do, but probably you don't. So don't click on these kind of links because the access to your emails can lead to the higher damages onto your possessions, and not only the material but also the different kinds. So and of course, if your PC is becoming slow, you see the utilization of RAM or CPU is constantly high, even though you just open the browsing the internet. That brings some kind of suspicions, and you should get to some of the specialists just to check your PC, or if you have at least basic understanding, just try to scan it with antivirus. And some of the antiviruses are now free to use. Microsoft has the already installed system. So yeah, so please just do that. How else can you get infected apart from opening the links? That's a really good questions. So One of the things is that your action can get you infected. Another part is that you can get force infected. For example, you leave your laptop unattended. So the hackers, there are bad USB. It's called bad USB. It's basically USB with a virus. So it just takes 0.2 seconds. So it's a blink of an eye. I can insert and immediately remove. So with a blink of an eye, I can put a virus into your laptop. So don't leave it unattended. Don't leave your laptop unlocked. Then there are tons of different methods. For example, I will tell just the last method. How can you get that? How can you get infected? For example, one of the scenarios, you are traveling, right, and you just landed in a different country, different airport, and you want to connect to the free Wi-Fi at the airport just to get Uber or taxi to the hotel, and then you're safe. Right, so there are called Wi-Fi devices. So generally what I do is I mimic the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi, and I create a station for Wi-Fi. So you see the Wi-Fi network, you connect to that. That means you have connected to me, to my device. And that means that I can capture your traffic and redirect wherever I want. Right? So you want to, for example, go to Google, I can edit that space, or you want to go to Facebook, I can edit that your routing. You will not be redirected to Facebook, but I will redirect you to Facebook with just one O, a K, and I will design everything like Facebook. And I will ask you to enter your credentials. So without that doing, you will enter your credentials. Hopefully not, but if you do, I will get your credentials. And then I will just simply redirect you to original Facebook page. So it will be as the user experience as it's supposed to be. Right. So in that case, I have your credentials and you don't even know it. Right. The same will happen if you are trying to get to Uber, right? I can capture your traffic and I can ask you to enter your credit card details. And the first time, well, maybe it's lost, maybe it's somewhere. I'll just enter because I need my taxi. I need to get to the I need to get to the hotel. And that's how I get your credit card details, just with a free Wi-Fi, and I'll just sitting around and doing nothing, just leaving the Wi-Fi device there. This is why I hate to be redirected to payment pages. Yes, that's also a good one. So always check the URLs, right? Always check. So one of the key points is check that the page is HTTPS, right? It's secure. Then check the domain. And if you are even if you want to get even more, get to the certificate details. It's a button just before the address. So check if the certificate is valid. So in that case, you can be sure that you are getting into the legit payment page or something, because the certificates and the certificate authorities are issuing those certificates to the legit sources, such as like Facebook, PayPal for payments and others. Jidruna, no, the slides are not yet changing. I'm answering the questions. So it's not stuck. It's just the slide, the actual slide. Okay. And the last question, and we will move to the next slide. And I'll try to be very cautious of the time, so we will not be over time, and I'll be able to answer your questions and go through the details. Is it safer to have different credentials, user password for different sites or apps, or it is safer to your Google account or Facebook account to log in different sites? It is always a best practice to keep all the passwords separate. So for example, you have Gmail, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have different sites. It is always a best practice to keep those passwords different. And for that, whether you're using Chrome or you're using Mac or you're using different operating systems or different computers, you can use password managers. There are plenty of free options, there are paid options. So depending on your needs and feature set, but you can store those passwords safely, and those are usually being stored on your machine, and those are not being shared with the Google or any other providers. So yes. Yes, they do. Safest browser. Safest browser. Oh, that's a good one. So Firefox is one of the open source, and those are so all the browsers are considered safe if you are not storing data there. So consider using open source. Open source. I use several browsers. I use Safari for some work. I use Chrome for work because we use different specific tooling where I need Chrome, and I use Mozilla for accessing different courses or when I'm trying to do some pen testing or bounty hunting. So yeah, yes, 1Password is one of the top password managers in the world. So yes, 1Password counts as safe. All right, let's move forward. And here we will move to data privacy and challenges. So in a tech, I always work with security professionals, and you know it is always a combination of user experience and safety. So the more safe, the harder it's getting to access, and vice versa. The easier it is to access, the less safe it is. So that's where we always trying to balance because less security can lead to data breaches, lack of transparency, and of course data misuse. So I will try to cover each of those, but generally, if I want, I don't need those multi-factor authentications. I don't need to those difficult passwords. I just want to put my email, put cat as my password, and I want to get in. That is fine. It is easy to get in, but again, it is also easy to breach that password. Even though it is hashed, passwords are hashed. It's a technology which we will not get into that. But just to for you to understand, this kind of password, like cat, can be breached in less than 2 seconds. And there are different methodologies to secure your password, but leave that to professionals and try to use password managers to store your passwords. It's convenient. You don't need to remember that, and of course, those tools will generate you unbreachable passwords. But do your research and choose the best or secure password managers. Password generators, yes, they are great, but you can generate the password, but you need to remember that password. And storing that in Excel spreadsheet is not the best way to store your passwords, or writing on a sticky note. It's not a good practice. On the transparency side, then again, if we are pivoting to the AI world, I will get to the answers later. But if we are getting into the AI world and lack of transparency, that's where the challenge also starts, because the models, the AI models, those called LLMs, large language models, such as ChatGPT, right? They need data to be trained on. So they need a huge amount of data so they can so the creators can feed the data and they can train those models. And that means that once you input your data, once you create your prompts, then again, if you're using your single subscription, if you're using ChatGPT Plus or Claude or Gemini or different providers, they have in terms and conditions, they have that they are using your data which you are inputting, whether it's a files, prompts, pictures, or they're using that data to train their models. And of course, there is a opt out, but you need to get to the more of an enterprise plans. You need to get a Teams plans. That's where you can opt out of that training part. But then again, that's where companies which are using have to be transparent, and that's where we could trust them, so we could use AI even in a wider way. So we can start uploading the documents and getting the feedback on the documents. Because right now it's still gray area, especially in Europe without large regulations. And one of the examples is Apple, which just recently released Apple AI, so Apple Intelligence. They call it Apple Intelligence. In the US, there are minimum regulations on that data privacy part, so it's available there. In Europe, we have no availability for Apple Intelligence on the Apple devices, neither iPhones, Macs, iPads, or any others. That's because we have to understand what data is being used, what our personal data will be used, and how it will be used. And that's where a lot of different laws are getting into the force on especially on the transparency. And we'll get back to this on the next part. So just before I'll get into the questions, I wanted to get into the case study. And fun fact, I shared that with Lucia, but fun fact on this slide, right? So when I was preparing the slides, so this slide with a PS5 picture was already in the deck, right? So that's where I looked at the case study from PlayStation about the data, about the AI, and about this topic. And this is where I wanted also to share with you one case study on a PlayStation app. It happened a long time ago, maybe 3 years ago. And in Lithuania, it's not available, but it's PlayStation app is available in a lot of different countries. And they started pushing their social part because on the PlayStation app you can check your subscription, you can check your games, you can check your friend list, your progress, trophies, etc., etc., etc. Right? You can understand that I do play PlayStation at a little bit, but there is also a social part where you can find new friends. Get challenges with new friends, challenge there to achieving some trophies. And that's where the social part began. And PlayStation integrated just behind the scenes, they integrated the AI part, where AI started looking into the marketing things. They started with an upsell, meaning that they started to offering based on your browsing and your games. They started to offering you to purchase some things. They started to suggesting some different friends, even they are not your acquaintances, but they started, well, there is Jonas, or there is a Peter, or there is another guys who are playing also this game. Maybe you want to connect, maybe you want to chat. And this was done, that data, your data, which you share with PlayStation, was used without explicit consent. So meaning that my name, my games, my trophies, my levels, all of my data which PlayStation has access to was accessible to them, and they used that without my explicit consent. So generally, they didn't ask, hey, Thomas, can we use your games to connect you with other gamers who are also playing those games so you can play together, or you can connect, or you can do something, right? So that's where this transparency part is coming in place. And that's why Europe, especially Europe, has these strong regulations on the data, on the AI, because big companies who has access to millions and millions of users have huge data lakes, have huge access to that data, and that data can be used in a good way or in a harm's way. So that's one of the interesting parts about AI and using AI. All right, so before I dive deep into the Wireshark, it's a tool, a network sniffing tool. Hopefully, the gods are with me, and I will be able to show you at least something on packet capturing. I will get back into the questions, checking the time. So, okay. Are adblock browsers safe or Chrome adblock plugins? Yes. So again, you should not download that from random sources. Generally speaking, ad blocks are just blocking the JavaScript on your website, right? So and some potential cookies. So they are generally considered safe. You can use them. Some of the password managers provide that ad block functionality. Some of the VPNs provide that functionality. So yes, generally speaking, yes, as long as you download and install that from legitimate source, such as, for example, Google Marketplace, not just random website which says, I will make your browsers safe and secure. Click here and enter your credit card details. Those probably are not safe, so don't use them. Are our passwords safe with AI? If you share that password with AI, potentially not, because they will use that password to train their models. So do not share your passwords with anyone. That's the only way how you can make your password safe, by not sharing them with anyone. And if you are sharing, so do it in a safe and secure way. There are some of the tools, legitimate tools like 1Password, who can create the one-time link, which will encrypt your password. And that link, you can share the link so the person can click on it, open the password, get it, and that link will self-destroy itself. So these kinds of tools are safe to use when you are sharing your password. But yeah, probably it's not the best idea to share private data with AI or with any other. Is there a way to reverse engineer, for instance, Reddit or Twitter protection from scraping? How to protect your own websites from being scraped? Oh, that's a good thing. Short answer is no. You cannot protect your website from scraping. And there are a lot of different tools which are used for good and for bad, which are scraping. So yes, for the business, when you are being scraped, it's not the best way. It's not kind of very easy or convenient to block that, and it would require too much of an effort and huge investments on that side. So unfortunately, today there are very few tools, I would say, maybe none, zero to none tools who can protect, if I say do not scrape Twitter or Reddit, and it will not be scraped. But the companies understood that, for example, Reddit understood that they can in no way protect themselves from scraping, and they changed a bit their business model, and they start selling their data. So at least they can make some money. Well, 16 million, if to be exact, from the data. So they sold the data to Google, and Google used their Gemini tool to train that tool on the Reddit data. It wasn't very successful. If you Google, if you want to, after the meeting, you can Google some of the failures from Google's AI. So one of the examples I remember is that the Google search was how to make cheese stick to pizza. Someone was making pizza and cheese was just falling off, probably. So what Google suggested, based on Reddit posts, so Google suggested to use some glue, some non-toxic glue to glue the cheese to the pizza. And as we understand, I don't know if you are on Reddit and if you are checking Reddit, there are a lot of trolls on Reddit. So that's where this sense and irony is. The AI is not able to distinct the irony or sarcasm from the Reddit posts. That's how they be trained, and they not think, but they're being trained, and they output the data based on the Reddit posts. So that's how it was suggested. Another post suggested, one pregnant woman was getting her sickness. So again, based on the Reddit posts, she was suggested to smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes a day to reduce the sickness, the morning sickness. So that's one of the failures on how when you get the data and you don't know how to use it, or you use it in a wrong way to train your models. So this is kind of funny parts, but Google is known for these kind of thingies with AI, even though Google started the AI movement in 96 or something. But they are getting back on the throne. And as I remember right now, it's a Meta's Llama is one of the most powerful LLMs. All righty, where is where is my question? Where are your questions? I'm sorry, I lost the track to the questions. So let's try to scroll back. Yes, ad blockers, say AI, Twitter. Yeah, I found it. Sorry for that. How about browsing in incognito mode? Does it help any way to protect my data? Yes, browsing in incognito mode helps you because incognito mode, what's the difference from incognito based on just usual mode? It doesn't store the cookies. So it starts with a clean slate without cookies, and all the cookies which are being stored. So for example, you browse, you log in, all the cookies, once you quit the browser, those cookies are being deleted. So on the security side, that's again those scales, right? On the security side, it's great because some of the cookies are so-called session tokens. So that's where you don't need to log in every time you visit the website. That's convenience. But again, those session tokens in many cases get stolen, and they're being sold on a dark web for money. And that means that once I acquire your session token and I know your email, I can log in without a password. I can log into your Facebook account. Let's take some other example, to Reddit. Let's take Reddit, enough of Facebook. I can log into your Reddit account without knowing your password, because the cookie will just automatically authenticate me. So again, user experience, convenience, and security. Those are always competing forces. Can they break or decode password using AI? It depends on the strength of your password. If your password is CAT, like cat, yes, I don't need AI. I can break it in 2 seconds, right? By using a tool. There are several tools, but it's easy. If you're using strong passwords, it's close to impossible. And there is a I didn't get the table, but there is a great table about the password strength and the amount of energy or time it takes to break. So right now there is a AIS, so there's a protocol. Basically, it's a mathematical algorithms, and based on the strongest algorithm, we do not have that powerful of computers yet until maybe someone will invent them. But generally speaking, to break that algorithm, we would require energy of the sun. So that's how much energy our basically electricity would require, and it will take more than 100,000 years to break these kind of passwords, because it's a mathematical so processors are working in cycles. It's like they're getting 1 cycle, 2 cycle, and those megahertz or gigahertz, it's just the faster cycles. So yeah, is it possible to detect if someone is monitoring our cell phone? Oh, yes, it is. Generally, you can try getting that phone to radio because those waves will interfere with each other. So try calling someone and getting that to the radio. If you see the interference, right? That's might be James Bond stuff, but there might be something like that. But generally speaking, it's easier to hack your SMS messages from the tower by using the single device, because those messages are not encrypted. So I can just stand near the cell tower and get the messages from there. What to do if noticed email breach? When writing email, there is a hacked email added to the address, meaning mail is hacked and being intercepted. How to clean it? Gmail is mail inquiry. I will try to read it one more time. If noticed email breach. When writing email, there is a hacked email added to the address. Can you please clarify, Svetlana, can you please clarify what do you mean there is a hacked email added to the address? Okay, today my GPT mixed word maestras with miestas. I do not know how can it be possible, but I got translation from Lithuanian to English with completely different meaning. Master city. Well, it happens. AI, there's a thing called hallucinations. So AI tend to hallucinate, and that's the outcome from the huge language models. So generally speaking, when AI is trying to generate you the answer from the data it was trained, so the models got advanced or out of the hand. So some call them advanced, some call them out of hand, that they start to create the content, not use the data which they have been trained with all those 80 billion parameters, but they create additional parts by themselves, and that's called hallucination. So it might be something similar. Oh, you should check your laptop if there is a something being added without your consent or without you doing that. So yes, you should at least scan your laptop, change the password, reset the account, and do all those parts, because that's very suspicious. Oh, it's a so so first things first, reset your Gmail account and force log out everyone, and create a second factor and use Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator or anything else to create a multi-factor authentication. So it will not be. Then look for some kind of antivirus such as McAfee, Norton. Some of those have trial versions for 30 days, so you can use those and scan your laptop for that. All right. Okay, so let's pause with that. I will try now to open the Wireshark. I will stop sharing and I will share the tool where I will try to show you where is that tool? Yeah, here we have it. So I will try to show you basically how can we inspect the traffic and how we can look into that. So generally speaking, we have the Wi-Fi, right? So that's the one I was talking about. So once I click it, you will see a lot of different numbers. So, and here we go. So that's, and you see the line running. So that means that it's inspecting my traffic. I will stop it now. We don't need to do that too much. So here we have the traffic which is coming from the source. So that's my source to the destination, which is a Zoom meeting. And we have some of the different ones. So that's like a broadcast. It's my router. It's my device. We have the IP and the MAC address. So we have tons of information here, right? So how are we using AI to do that? So as you can see, there are different patterns, right? So this one is called binary code. So we don't need to get into that. There is also lots of information here. But generally speaking, it's a protocol, it's destination, and the length of request, and we can see the ports. So what we do with the AI. So once I started, right? Continue without saving. As you can see, it's going and going, and it will go to 10,000, to 50,000, to million, to billion. And for a single person, it's not possible to just sit down and look at those numbers. You will get nuts, right? So that's where we are using AI to inspect every request and look into the behavioral patterns, look into the databases, look into the external databases such as CVEs. This is a database of known vulnerabilities. There are some Twitter accounts which share some vulnerabilities, some attacking scenarios. So AI can combine all that data from all the tools, all the public sources, all the dark web sources, different sources, and check if some of the patterns, scenarios, IP addresses, packets are behaving as in that scenario, and then it can proactively block. And this is the first layer. It's a network. So if we can block the access at network layer, then that means that the bad actors won't even be able to access our tool, our network, and we can be safe on that part. So we can launch this tool, and it can run forever, and it will scan our network, and that's my home network. And you can see already I launched it like 10 seconds, and it already got 16,000 requests. Right, and that's my home, just sitting near my laptop. Imagine in the big corporates how much traffic is going there when they are having 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000 of employees, and everybody's doing something via internet. So that's where this power of AI comes in networks, in network security, and in general cybersecurity. Okay, I was talking a lot, and you were very active. Thank you for that. Let's get to to your questions, and then we'll get to my questions. I will check how much did you listen, and I will have 5 questions for you to check your knowledge. All right. Meaning in outgoing address, there is an extra email added to every time. Yeah, so we talked about that. If we are reaching boundaries of model, is it easier to exploit it into infinite loop? There is a generally speaking, AI is based on neural networks, and it's close to a human brain. And there is a Nobel Prize winner, the professor who had an interview. You can try to googling him and finding him. I believe he's from Princeton or Harvard. But in that interview, he said that we do not understand. We already do not understand how AI gets advanced, gets to learn. It's the same thing that we don't understand the brain, how the brain functions. We understand that there is electrical signals going back and forth, but in general, we don't understand fully how the brain functions, how people are learning, and how that inside thing's going. The same is now happening with AI. We don't have the full understanding into the AI. And there are different movies like with AI, that AI robots will take over, etc., right? But if you remember back in the 80s or 90s, probably 90s or 2000s, there were electric cars, self-driving cars, right? So now we have electric cars, self-driving cars, and we were laughing back then. Now it's not that laughing. We are using them, but we are driving them. The movies where the robots are taking over. Now Tesla released a few robots which are kind of using AI, XAI, and coming and serving you as a friend. There are a lot of applications where you can create your virtual friends, and actually they will be your friends. They will talk to you, they will learn your behaviors, and they will support you. I know that it's not about AI, it's just a jump of thought, but in Japan, the social distancing is a huge problem there, and people are living in small houses by themselves. The birth rate is dropping and a history low, and there are actual job when the person is just coming with you and having lunch with you. You pay a person, so he follows you around and he is just there with you. He sits, he doesn't talk. If you want him to talk, you can talk to him, but just he's not talking, he's just sitting to you. You have your lunch, he's following you, so he just follows you all the way. So that's a huge problem. But yeah, let's get back to this. Do restarting once a week our router makes our browsing safer? Unfortunately, no. It makes your internet faster, but it doesn't make your browser or anything safer. Because if it's infected, it's infected, right? So it's not that if you get some flu, you get to sleep, you wake up in the morning, you feel better. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way for the browsers or for the routers or for computer viruses. They need to be treated, and sleep is not one of those ways. All right, let's get back to this, and let's get to the questions. I have 5 questions prepared for you. After each question, I will show you the answer, and you can put the answer in the chat, and you can also count how many right answers you get, and we can look into the right answers after those questions. So the question number 1. What is one advantage of using AI in threat detection? All right, so 3, 2, 1. Let's see. The correct answer is B, ability to analyze large data sets quickly. Good job. I saw almost all B's. I saw one C. So yeah, it's B. Good job. What is the primary benefit of using AI for cybersecurity threat detection? All right, I see a lot of B's. So the right answer is B. AI can identify patterns and anomalies quickly. Good job. So you were listening, actually. Proud of you guys. Question number 3. Which of the following best describes how AI detects cybersecurity threats? Hmm. I'll prepare harder questions next time. So yes, it's a prediction based on prediction on the patterns. So a lot of great students here. So Women Go Tech can be proud. What role do cybersecurity analysts play? Yes, they do analyze flagged threats. So we are not there yet, so we can fully automate that. So that's where we need to do that. And it's a mixed question number 4. That was question number 5. Apologies for that. Hopefully you didn't. I thought you didn't notice, but Tatiana did notice. So you are listening. Great. So that's question 4. All right, let's check the answer. Yes, it's by studying and flagging unusual patterns in user behavior. So as you can see on the AI side, it's also about patterns. It's very hard for humans and for systems to analyze huge data sets and look for the patterns. That's where AI is unbelievable at looking at those patterns and providing us the outputs from there. All right. We will jump to regulatory compliance, and then we can jump to the questions. We still have 30 minutes. So there are two main regulations. In Europe, it's a GDPR, and in the US, generally speaking, it's in the state of California, it's a CCPA. So those regulations are very similar. So generally, you must inform companies who are using personal data or personally identifiable data. They must inform how that data is being used. And on request, they must delete that data from all of their systems. So for example, you are on Facebook in Europe. Let's not talk Facebook, let's talk Reddit, for example. You are on Reddit, so you can request Reddit to remove all your personally identifiable data. And they must comply because you are in the European Union. Or if you are in California, you can do that based on the CCPA. It's yep. And one of the last topic is about the career. So a lot of you are learning. Some of you are qualifying to tech. Some of you just willing to learn AI. But learning AI is one thing, but also you can look into in the career as an in AI or cybersecurity. So here are four entry, so to say, entry level positions. So on the top part, there is a position, and on the bottom part is generally what you need to do. What specific, not specification, but what you need to learn or what you need to have. So generally speaking, it's technical proficiency and analytical thinking, ethical mindset. But what is the most important, I even put that in a caps lock, it's a will and commitment. Because from my perspective, I was an engineer back in the days, and I thought of quitting. Maybe, well, if I sum up, I am in IT for maybe 20 years, something like that. I was engineer, I was coding. Then I got into the management. I was architecting a lot of solutions. I am securing a lot of solutions. So right now I'm leading teams and basically a strategy. But I thought about quitting when I was or when I am engineer. I thought about quitting coding or something maybe on each second or each third day. So it is challenging, but it is also rewarding. So it will be there will be a lot of challenges once you will start learning. And on a basic level, when you are looking into the like prompt engineering, like how to write prompts, how to go to this prime prompting, then if you are willing to go into the machine learning or data science or understand how to build LLM or how to deploy LLM on your computer or how to train that, there will be challenges, and that's where you can't stop. If you are determined to go there, you must commit to that. The first thing, you must commit to that, because there is a good saying, there is a huge difference between I want to and I'm committed to. And this is the phrase I tell every my mentee who we are working with. So if you are willing to, that means that I just want to, but usually when I face challenges which require me to sit and study for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, usually people drop out. And that's completely fine. But if you are committed to, that means that no matter what, you will keep pushing forward. And I have great example, especially I have a great example from Moon Go Tech. I had a great lady who was determined as you guys are writing, who was committed to learn to code. So that was one of the most interesting mentorships I've had, because that girl was driving force and she was doing amazing job. I remember I wasn't so committed back in the days, but she was writing commits or pull requests or asking questions at 1 a.m. at night, 6 a.m. in the morning, in the midday. She was pushing through. Now she's an engineer working in a company as an engineer, and she turned her career around, and that's one of the success stories I love to talk about. I congratulate her. I'm very proud of her. So she's amazing, and she continues to push forward. And that's what means that's the main difference between I want to and I'm committed to. Because if you are committed, you will achieve your goals. If you just want, so you will try the basic course of AI or of cybersecurity or of anything else. And once it will become challenging, and it will become challenging. I promise that it will become challenging. That means that's where it will be a crossroad, whether you push forward or you turn back and get back to your comfort zone. Because engineering, AI, or cybersecurity, or learning something new in general is challenging and it's not comforting, but the rewards are, how to say, they are worth it. They are worth those hours and learnings and stress and all that. So I promise that the rewards which you will achieve once you will learn and once you will solve that next step and the next challenge, those will be worth, and the fulfillment you will feel, it will be amazing. But then you will face another challenge, and it will start all over again. And it's a never-ending story. So yeah, but keep pushing, keep moving forward, and the rewards are there. Uh, no, I'm not speaking about you, Helena. I'm speaking in general about everyone. Do you have favorite sci-fi movie? I was talking just today. I was talking to my friend who's also a manager at one of the big tech companies. We were actually talking about Back to the Future movie. You know that where there is a Marty and that crazy professor. They were where they created that car and they moved that, and there was a this hoverboard which Marty was flying, and now Toyota Lexus created this kind of a hovering board. So we were talking about those movies. That's why it resonated me. That's why there was a jump of thought to that. That's how the movies become a reality. So what prompt? Oh, just a second. Yeah. Do you think that companies should block access to different AIs as a safety measure, at least for now, when the regulations are still not well defined and there is a lack of transparency? I do not think so. I think that the more you forbid, the more people will look for the workarounds, right? So I not in this company, but in previous companies, we had this discussion on whether we should embrace the change or we should forbid it. So what we decided, we decided to embrace. Once you embrace it, you can control it inside. And there are technical opportunities. Right now, there are technical opportunities. So, for example, if company uses ChatGPT from OpenAI, right, you can buy a Teams plan and you can opt out from that company learning. If you do not trust the OpenAI on that they are not training the data, there are different large language models which you can host in your infrastructure if you're a company, or you can host on your laptop and restrict the access to the internet. So meaning that they will not be able to access the internet, and you can still use it. A lot of companies deploy these kind of large language models, and they embrace the people to use that. I always try with my teams. I always try to do that with them, and I always try to allow people to work with their heads rather than with their hands, right? Because we employ smart people to make smart decisions, not to kind of type on the keyboard 24/7. And yeah, so embrace the change, and I'm trying to embrace that, because if you will ignore it, you will just raise more security vulnerabilities to your company. Um, So what prompt engineering course do you recommend? Well, from top of my head, there is a, if you have Spotify or if you can Google it, I will pull my phone. There is a podcast which I'm listening on a daily basis, and it is called Everyday AI. Uh, yes, Everyday AI podcast. So you can look into the Everyday AI. They do have a free course. I do not recall right now the link to that free course, but it's generally prime prompting. So they teach you how to create prompts, the right way to create prompts. So that's where you can learn a lot, and you can start building your agents or GPTs tailored to your taste and tailored to your needs. Um, yes, Lucy movie is also great, and that's where we discover to use more brain capacity. We unfortunately we're not there yet, but maybe someday, maybe with the help of AI, we'll be able to discover how brain works, and then we'll be able to utilize it more. Because right now, based on the scientific discoveries, we're utilizing only about 10% of our brain capacity. So yeah. You can have your local AI agent pre-trained and then trained to your needs. Yes, you can do it. You can host it on your local machine. You can feed the data, and that's where the amazing things happen. I have my laptop that's running Windows, so I have deployed the AI agent, and I'm trying to. It's a geeky stuff, but I'm trying from the movie Iron Man. I'm a Marvel fan, so from the movie Iron Man, I'm trying to create Jarvis to control my smart home. It's not yet it's not yet working, but as I mentioned, the challenges. So I enjoy the challenges, and I'll make it to work maybe this year, maybe next one. I know company who don't let use certain tools during important meetings. For example, the one who takes notes. Yes, that's a good thing, because the notes those are being stored in the cloud. So that might be a security concern, to keep your personal information or private information from the meeting, transcript of the meeting in someone's cloud. So I agree. We are also not allowing to use these kind of tools like transcribing the meetings. That's also turned off, and yeah. Yes, your everyday AI, Natalia. This is the PPP course. It's a free course, so you can check that. It's not that long, but I found that useful. Especially it's free, and the guy who is hosting that, he knows what he's talking about, and there are daily episodes, so you can also follow the your everyday AI to know more about that, and about the things what's happening in the world of AI. How many teams developing commercially successful AIs are there? Sometimes it feels like everything is OpenAI or OpenAI adjacent. Yeah, that's a good point. OpenAI marketing is great, right? So when you're talking about AI, OpenAI is there. So yeah, they jumped the train on a great timing. So they're not the best ones right now, based on the parameters. There are like a thresholds for that. So Meta has their own AI. It's called Llama, which is now considered the best. You can check that Llama. They are open source, so you can deploy it if you have powerful enough machines. I'm not talking about 80 billion parameters, but 7 billion. Probably you can deploy it somewhere, or you can use it. There is a X. Elon Musk is XAI. OpenAI has their ChatGPT. Google have how is it called? Vortex. They do have Vortex and Gemini, depending on what you are looking for. So, so yeah, Google Vortex, Meta Llama, XAI, and NVIDIA is building something. I don't know right now what, but they're mostly into chips. So yeah, every major company has their own AI, and you can check the how is that called? I don't recall it now, but You can basically write in the Google, and they will give you all the LLMs which are open source or not. I am using Ollama. So Helena, to answer your question, I'm using Ollama for deployment, and I have all the models set up on my local machine. Not 80 billion parameters, but those smaller ones, 7 billion parameters. So I have Meta's Llama, Llama. I have OpenAI ChatGPT, API based, and I have Gemini. I do not recommend. Oh, okay. How fun. Sorry, I skipped this one. Smart home. Google has actual Jarvis AI assistant extension for GPT. Yes, I know that. But what I'm trying to do on my home assistant, on local home assistant, is they do not have access to internet. So generally speaking, I'm not using any clouds from China or any other providers. I have my local network setup. I have some ports open when I need to download the updates. But generally speaking, my smart home is accessible only from my home network. It's not that convenient. That's again the scales, right? It's not that convenient that I cannot switch my lights from the office. But again, someone from China cannot switch my lights or check my cameras and look into that. Would you please recommend note-taking AI assistant? No. I'm not using those. I honestly do not know because usually I use I use old school. No, not that old school, but I use pen. I use pen and I use iPad, and I like to write my notes because it helps me to memorize the topics better. So when I'm in the meeting, I write notes in a note-taking app. When I'm hosting the meeting, I write notes on my laptop into the Notes app, so then I can share those notes and action points. For example, I use Perplexity AI all the time. Once I asked it who created it, and it turned out it's OpenAI people. So OpenAI people and the OpenAI it's a different because a lot of drama is happening for the past year. I would say a lot of drama is happening. So CTO left. Munira Murati, CTO of OpenAI, left, and she created her own AI company and raised 100 mil. Their data scientist and another founder left. They created their own AI. So, a lot of people are being part because OpenAI has eight co-founders, and most of them are leaving the company except Sam Altman. Other left, and they're creating something AI based because they have all the knowledge and everything. So yeah, that might be the case, or others are building on top of AI. So it's very expensive to build your custom AI model. So for example, right now it's a GPT-4, it's GPT-4o, the newest model. It's now O1. But GPT-2, I believe GPT-2, I might be mistaken, so apologies for that. But GPT-2, to build the GPT-2 model, the investment was $80 million. So in order to train the GPT-2 model, ChatGPT-2 model, you have to put $80 million into the infrastructure to train it. So yeah, so people do not have, like, startups do not have this kind of money. So OpenAI and others, such as Llama or others, they provide APIs, or some of the models are even open source. So you can just take them and build your applications on top of that, such as Perplexity, which is like a Google on steroids. They are building on top of the already trained models, and they're utilizing. And it's called RAG. It's a augmented. So basically, you use your data to fine tune the model to your specific needs. You could use programming to download the page data and then ask your local agent to process the data locally. Yes, yes. That's not a question, but that's a great fact. So you can use that to download, I imagine. Someone with experience in business, strategy, and sales will be able to transfer this to artificial intelligence and work professionally if she does not have deep technical background. Of course. So AI is being used to help you. It's generally assistant. So one thing, the first thing you need to learn is generally how to write prompts. So that course, I believe Helena or not, or someone else, Natalia, apologies, Natalia shared. So that course can be your way into understanding the AI and how to ask specific questions, how to ask the right questions. So that would be the first step. And once you get the expertise in that, you can put that into any to any of your professions, whether it's sales, marketing, engineering, PR, a lot of different areas. So you can utilize that in any area which you need help on. I know that there are specific topics like you can do a market research, you can do a market analysis, competitor analysis, and right now AIs are able to browse the internet and they can get you in a tabular format all the competitive analysis. You can just then from the competitive analysis you can create targeted campaigns or look for your product market fit, or you look for your go-to-market strategy, or look for your great product ideas, a lot of different things. But first thing, you need to learn to use the tool, right? So like if you take a hammer and a nail, you need to practice how to get the nail into the wood or something, right? So that's where you need practice. You need to understand. The same is with AI. So you need to learn how to create those prompts so you can get the output you need, and then you can use that output, and that will save you tons of time. Right. Some old school human here for Katana. Okay. Which image creator is the best? Um, I haven't played too much with those, but it depends. You can use Canva to create a lot of designer. If you're looking into design things, it's yeah, Canva. But right now, latest GPTs, latest LLMs, they can those tools can generate images. So define your prompt. ChatGPT is not great at that. There is a Llama is not that bad, but there are it's I might be mistaken. I believe it's a Midjourney. It's one of the best I would say image creation tools out there right now. I believe it's paid, but it has some free trial, so you can try Midjourney. Writing prompts was also covered in the previous workshops in this program. You can watch the recordings in the Teachable platform. Thank you. Will do. Well, I tried Canva for image create and it needs a little study yet. Yes, every tool needs a little adjustments, understanding, and learning how to use it. Try it, look for the courses. The popular tools such as Canva, Midjourney, ChatGPT, they for sure have a lot of different courses. You can look at the different platforms. I will not be mentioning those, but you can look at those platforms, and one of those are mentioned in this one, in this chat. So try it out, look at this, and yeah, start learning, because it will save you that work which I personally usually procrastinate to do, because it's boring. It's not interesting for me, and usually I like creating things, and that's where I unload those parts to ChatGPT or Perplexity or Llama, different AI models. Your opinion on this directive? Too much hype or an actual beneficial regulation? Well, honestly, I believe that's one of the well-formed directive, and it's one of those which took me the least time to understand, because it's clear. It shows what you need to do. It shows what you can use tools. So yeah, I would say on this NIST too, comparing, for example, to Dora, which is operational resilience, it's way easier to understand. It's not that complicated. Basically, we extracted maybe 8 points, and each of the point is clearly defined. You can take the tool, you can build a tool, you can buy the tool, and that's it. You implement and you provide that your, for example, endpoint security or password management or any others are there. So I am in favor of this, and it's not that hard to understand from my perspective. Yes. And you can also ask AI for evaluating your prompts as an yes, exactly. That's a very good point. So you can ask AI to improve your prompt. So that's one of the good strategies to do that. You can generally get the strategies that are to learn those. It's a curve, right? So you need to learn. There's a learning curve, but to once you learn it, you just go and repeat it. So you learn the pattern and you repeat the pattern to any of your areas where you need answers. All right, we have 3 minutes left, and I promised that we'll be very time cautious. So it's a great that I managed to get to the whole the presentation to answer your questions, and we are right on time. So 1.5 hours flew by. I didn't even notice. So thank you for your attention.
Yes, Thomas, thank you so much. So many practical information and practical tips that are helpful for everyone. I noticed that someone already noticed a security breach in their email, so definitely worth this workshop. And thank you for all the participants who participated and so many questions from you. You were so active both in YouTube and in Zoom chat. Thomas did have not a break to stop talking. So thank you very much. And this workshop will be uploaded to the Teachable platform tomorrow morning, so that you can watch the recording later at your own time and double check all the facts that Thomas mentioned. And also we have a surprise for you. Maybe some of you already noticed in the Teachable platform that there's one more workshop added to it. So next week on Monday, we will have a panel discussion with AI experts about AI and trends and everyday AI in your everyday life. So just check the Teachable platform. You will also get more information by email, and we invite you to register to the panel discussion as well. So thank you very much, everyone, Thomas and participants, and we will see you next week. So have a great evening, everybody. Bye.